Hello. Thank you for viewing this overview of the AICP Exam Application process. My name is Eric Roach. I'm a Program Associate with the American Planning Association. Today's webinar will focus on the application process, but first let's go over the 5 steps to become AICP. The first step is earning your education. The second, gaining experience. The third, applying for the AICP exam. The fourth, studying for and passing the exam. And finally, you become an AICP member after you begin paying AICP dues. The purpose of this orientation is to help qualified planners prepare for the exam. Today's webinar will focus on the application process. The first step is making sure you meet the eligibility requirements to apply for the exam. It's a sliding scale from 2 to 8 years depending on the type of education you earned. For 2 years, you would need to have a graduate degree from a PAB, that's Planning Accreditation Board approved school, all the way to needing 8 years of experience if you do not verify any education. To apply for the AICP exam, you must be a current member of APA and a chapter member, meet these requirements, and pay the $70 application fee. Experience that qualifies for the exam includes part-time experience, which can be prorated into full-time equivalent. This can be used by full-time workers who devote a portion of their time to another field. Internship experience, so long as it was not part of coursework for a grade and was not a requirement to graduate. This must also meet the definition of professional planning experience. Non-traditional experience, like unpaid work or volunteer work, can also be accepted, as long as it meets the definition of planning experience. There are important distinctions between planners and allied professionals and planning and related fields. Planners approach problems comprehensively, have a long-range perspective, and deal with unique place-based issues. Although people in related professions such as law, architecture, landscape architecture, or engineering, and disciplines like market analysis, humanities, or psychology often work with planners, they do not necessarily have the same knowledge, skill set, and approach. Those in related professions and disciplines who can demonstrate that their experience meets professional level planning experience requirements, as defined in the exam candidate guide, are welcome to apply. Experience that does not count includes contributions by members of city councils, boards of commissioners, planning commissioners, boards of zoning appeals, and citizen advisory boards. Does not constitute planning experience. The jobs that you should include in the application can be the minimum needed to meet the requirements, either 2, 3, 4, or 8 years based on your education, and also any positions that you reference in your essays. Include positions for which you can provide the strongest responses and also meet the eligibility requirements. Some general application tips. You'll want to review the exam candidate guide and use the checklist at the end to help draft your essays. Applying early means that you'll find out earlier if you're approved, or if you're denied, then you'll be able to reapply within the same exam window. The early bird window is the first week in each application window. Be sure to proofread your responses. Although an applicant cannot be denied for these errors, it can make it more difficult for the reviewers to assess your eligibility. Ask an AICP coworker or supervisor to review your responses before submitting. Be sure to save your essays in a Word document before submitting the responses. You'll be able to copy and paste them into the application form on the website. Keep copies of your essays and the verification documents. And remember, only one set of essays is required. Remember, you are applying to become professionally certified. Please put the amount of time and effort into applying that is expected when applying for this level of certification. Employment verification tips. You'll want to give your employers plenty of time to complete a verification letter on your behalf. There's a sample letter on the website at the link shown on the screen. After you get the letter back from your employer, be sure to double check that all the required information is included. This includes your APA ID number, the title of the position, the employment dates, the job responsibilities, and the signature from the previous employer or the HR representative at the company. Should you have a unique circumstance, such as the employer going out of business, please review the exam candidate guide for information on that, or contact us at aicpexam@planning.org and we'll tell you how to proceed. Educational experience verification tips. Acceptable ways to verify your education experience include providing a copy of a notarized diploma, providing the PDF of official transcripts, providing a letter from a school dean, registrar, or program director to confer your degree. Just like improper verification letters are a common reason applications get marked as incomplete during the employment verification process, improper education experience verification is another reason an application may be marked incomplete. Once again, we just want to reiterate why an application would be marked incomplete. It could be issues with verification letters for the employment, education, not meeting the minimum eligibility requirements, not including all the information in the employment verification letter, and not uploading the required verification documentation. One way to get a quicker letter from an employer is to draft the letter yourself, send that to them, and then your employer can edit it as needed and then copy and paste it onto their letterhead. Criterion responses. Please review the do's and don'ts and the checklist section of the exam candidate guide. Be sure to craft responses that are between 250 and 500 words. Speak in the first person. Don't speak to what the team did. Refrain from using bolded lists and writing in incomplete sentences. Remember, reviewers are required to base their decision on your criterion responses. Do not assume your application will be approved just because you have a lot of planning experience. Stronger responses do not speak generally about tasks, but provide specific project examples and clearly describe the applicant's role in those projects. Many times, applicants will speak to a project that just started. What they have done is organize a steering committee or hold their first meeting. They speak to what they will do as part of the project or what the project outcomes will be. The application must document experience that has already been obtained. The reviewers cannot accept experience that the applicant plans to obtain. Only include completed project examples in your responses. Assumptions about project outcomes cannot be used to verify experience already gained. Criterion 1. Involve a professional level of responsibility and resourcefulness while applying a planning process appropriate to the project or situation. For this criteria, you want to discuss how you applied a planning process appropriate to the situation through one of the 3 sections of professional planning content, and how you were a responsible and resourceful planner when applying that process. The 3 subsections are public sector planning. This is the most commonly used section and is most relevant to public sector planners. Specialized planning should be used by people who practice in very specialized fields of planning. Academia and research should be used by academics or those planners who primarily focus on research. Criterion 2. Employ an appropriately comprehensive point of view. Describe your role in a project and how you were able to employ a comprehensive point of view rather than simply describing a project outcome. Describe how you employed a comprehensive point of view, not how the project itself or outcomes were comprehensive. The applicant should focus on how they thought comprehensively. The focus is on their thought process and not the product, outcome, or overall planning process. Criterion 3. Influence public decision-making in the public interest. There are 2 parts to this criterion. The first, address how your work influenced public decision-making in the public interest and the aspects of the public interest that were served. Part 2, discuss how you have influenced public decision-making in the public interest. You must answer both parts successfully. Successful responses could include information on actions taken by a board, changes to project design, project outcomes and implementation that resulted from recommendations or input provided by the applicants. If your application is approved, you will then be approved for 6 consecutive exam windows or 3 years, beginning with the window in which you were initially approved. You must register your intent to sit for the exam within an open registration window. If your application is expired, you will need to resubmit a new application for full review. If your application is denied, you want to check to see if any verification materials are still on file. Early bird applicants will receive a unique deadline to resubmit their essays. Follow the guidance provided in your denial statement from the peer reviewers. Ensure you have addressed the reasons for denial cited in your denial letter before resubmitting, and upload valid verifications. Applicants may be encouraged to only include certain jobs in a future application or to not include jobs they may have previously included. The reviewers have copies of previous applications and of the denial statement provided to the applicant and are looking to see if they followed the instructions and advice provided. Important dates for the May 2018 window. The application window opens December 1st. The early bird deadline is December 7th. The final application deadline is December 28th. The registration and transfer deadline is April 27, 2018, and the testing window will take place from May 14th to the 28th, 2018. Here are the dates for the November 2018 exam window. The exam is offered twice per year in May and November. The application windows occur in December for the May exam and June for the November exam. AICP certification-related costs. The application fee is $70. For early birds who need to resubmit their application, there's an additional $70 fee. The registration fee is $425 to take the exam. and the transfer fee is $100. The transfer fee only applies to applicants who have registered for the exam that need to transfer to the next exam window. Scholarships are available through your chapters. Please contact your PDO for details if you're having trouble covering the registration fee or if your employer will not cover it for you. The exam scoring process means that the official score is available immediately after completing the computerized exam. Scores are reported on a scale of 25 to 75, with 55 as the passing score. There are two versions of the exam. The raw scores are transformed into scaled scores in order to make the scores comparable between the different versions of the exam. Available assistance. Professional development officers, chapters, and sections may be able to help you review your application and provide feedback, offer exam preparation sessions, materials, or supports. Please go to planning.org/chapters/PDO for contact details for your professional development officer. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact APA staff at AICP Exam at planning.org. Thank you for your time.